Waking up in this paradise, thought I was paralyzed. It's just as I realized, a continuous fall. I jumped on a fast train to jump off a fast train to land on my glass face. It all breaks the same. I'm up in the airplanes, looking for airplanes, destined to make a change. So I jump towards the sea.
In whatever way you found me, you are here because you're meant to come here to the Chicago Rising Phoenix Mystery School Wellness Center. Come meet me. Come. You'll love it. You'll love it. Join us every 4 months when I host the retreats. Let me know if you have any questions, write in the comments. I love you, honor you, respect you. Thank you for being you, being so incredible, being on this path with me individually and then on the collective journey with all of us on Earth. I am so honored to be concluding this series. I've gone through the book. I've looked at what specifically we needed to share to conclude this series. So I am ecstatic that we will be concluding it today is my goal and intention, and then which will lead us into the real men of Arabia. In case you don't know who I am though, I am Rising Phoenix A.U.R.A. This specific video is part of the Antarctica Tartaria series, and let me know if the noise is too loud outside. If so, then you could come close the windows. But so in this series, we've gone into the book. This book I found in a old bookstore that had all these old books, fighting the traffic in young girls. So today we're concluding this book, The War on the White Slave Trade. My intentions very powerfully for this is Mother Earth, and everything I do, I speak for Mother Earth, Divine Mother, whatever she needs me to speak about. I am fully here to deliver those messages for her. Her concern, Mother Earth's concern, is the fighting that is happening between the races. We have Michael Jackson, who I'm looking into if I'm going to channel him or not. I'm looking into, as you guys know, I don't channel celebrities, but there's something important about his message. I'm also trying to figure out if he's alive or not. So I'm looking into that. So keep an eye on that for the extra sensitive series. I will decide if I'm going to channel him next Friday, but he was all about that. Like even just like his song, it's black or white, that song, and everything that he talked about, and all the different important figures of Earth. And hold on, I gotta get this girl over here. It's too noisy with the neighbors anyways. But yes, so there, my intention to this series is that we are to assist the people and the different colors of races. You all, what does it matter? You're black, you're white, you're red, you're purple, you're blue. I mean, we're all the same, born from the Creator of God and Divine Mother and Father. The color, it means nothing. It literally means nothing because we're all born in different races. And what's happening right now in South America, South Africa, is that there is a target specifically being blamed that the whites in South Africa, and I talked about it in the last two videos. So in case you are new to us, we had part 1 and part 2 to this series within the Antarctica Tartaria series. And then we're going into the real men of Arabia. We're going to cover Middle East and what happened to the men there, because this began that. So we had this video about, we started, was about 4 months ago. Okay. So what's happening is that there is especially the whites and the blacks are being put against each other. And so the blacks in South America right now think that they have the right, because they're blaming the whites that are there to kill, to murder, to whatever, rape, to bully the whites in South America. And this is horrible. If you don't know about it, you want to watch my part 1 and part 2. It is actually the most racist, most racial divide on earth, the way that was being portrayed in South America. So my intention to this series is to bring a light to this, and then bring also aid to the whites. And then there was also some of the whites were also being racist. So we got two against each other, two races. But it seems like what we've researched and all the videos have showed in the past is that the blacks are really joining together, and they're like, kill the white men. It's a thing, guys. I'm not making it up. So it is horrible. So the main reason why this is happening is because they think that they're getting back at them, for the white people in South America, for enslaving them. The truth is, you all, that the blacks here in America, all over, even, in South America, you see, black skinned people. All those people were here already, you all. We're in different worlds. Each world, each big body, like North America, South America, they're different worlds. Okay? In case you are new to us, but hopefully you're not. They are literal dragons. What they look like. Giant dragons. Same for South America and Europe and Asia. They're their own dragons. Land masses, you look at them, they're huge dragons, right? I'll show you an image, but I don't want to go over things again, guys, that we've already, but I know that you need to see the video in case you're new to us. So every single big body landmass, why, even like if you look at even like Hispanic little islands and like cultures, or like Cuba, why is there blacks, whites, and brown like us there? Sure, there were settlers, but the truth is that all these races were each bodies of water. We were all there, okay? When you look at and watch World Erased Part 1 and Part 2, which we talked about deeply about what happened in Africa there, okay? Is one of my highest views, so you want to watch that videos. And the truth is that that the blacks from our world in America, yes, there might have been interracial with the time that they were enslaved, while they killed the rest of my color skin people, the invaders from Europe and Spain. So, but they look, their features are completely different. Their skins are completely different. There's just two different blacks you're looking at. Okay. Again, you watch that in Part 1 and Part 2, okay, of this series. All right. So this is what I want to remind you, is that this needs to stop. Okay. Divine Mother, Kali Ma, all the mothers, Goddess Torancinishtel, they don't consent to it. And you need to stop allowing for the divide with the Black Lives Matter, all this false agendas you're created from the same mother, who is all races. And actually, she's not even specifically a race. I mean, she's love. But on earth, we have races, right? And so sending love over specifically to South Africa, in Africa. And then also, this is what Divine Mother wants to challenge you. Blacks in America. Okay. I live in Chicago. I grew up, we grew up with blacks everywhere, and they're beautiful people. You need to step it up. This is what Divine Mother is saying. You need to step it up. They're holding the biggest, say, curse over there in South Africa. The only way to free them is by you freeing your mind and yourself. And I am sharing this series to you with facts that it's not just you. This is what I told you, right? That you were the ones that were enslaved. It's not just you who were enslaved. My people, my indigenous people were enslaved too. Okay? And, they just straight up killed us. Okay? Because also the whites were also enslaved too. Through human trafficking. It's been all races. So when you become aware, you become so intelligent that you realize that this is all a false agenda narrative that you will not consent to or agree to. So step up. No more victimhood. You're no one's slave. You are no one's victim. Everyone on this earth, through the dark entities, the dark aliens, dark agendas, have reached some kind of, lived a life of some kind of enslavement that we're freeing ourselves from. And that's what the series is about. Because I found out the root to when enslavement and human trafficking that we see right now, that the Trump administration is finding all those children right now, factually, not made up. Years ago, I told you, 2020, that he was going to do this. Some of you didn't believe me. Most of you did, hopefully. Here he is. They're doing it now. They're saving the children. So if we could step out of our ego, oh, bird just hit my window. Wow. Right when I said that, if we could step out of our, hopefully the bird's okay. Then you probably want to check on the porch by my window, make sure that there's a bird's okay. You step out of your ego, and then you're going to see, and we're all going to lift in vibration, and you're going to see that this is a recurring thing of how violations to humanity have been occurring since the fall of Atlantis, which I have a Mayan Atlantean series that you could watch for that. Okay, so this is why we're here, and this is why you're watching this. So I recommend, I encourage you to keep watching all the way to the end, because today we conclude that we start the removal and the alchemizing, the transmuting of this false narrative that keeps humanity separate from one another, alongside with religion, when all God, the Creator, is love. Okay? Every race has been enslaved, including the whites. Can't feed that negative agenda anymore, that false AI matrix anymore. You can't, because you're watching this video right now, and you have to step into your heart and expand your heart so big that you understand that they're doing this to pin us against each other, to fight against one another. And you can't feed that anymore, you all, because ultimately, aren't you here to save the children of Earth? And you as an adult, you have the responsibility to step up and raise your vibration so strong, because only through that is how you save the children. When you step into your heart, you allow your heart to guide you and know these facts were real of what they happen. So you could watch the first two videos to find out all the intro and all that. I was going to show you briefly how I spoke of each world, right? And how each world is a dragon. Here is the proof. Again, you could just look that up probably like on Google Earth. Here, look. America, mother dragon, father dragon here. They're intertwining like a yin-yang 6-9 formation. Here's his ear, his legs, his wings are Antarctica, and mother's head here, her belly birthing, and then birthing really South America, the umbilical cord right into South America. Africa is father's child. South America is mother's child here. And again, I should talk about this, so we're gonna move on, okay? I even showed you guys the videos, the data on how they look like baby dragons. All right, both South America and Africa look like baby dragons. Okay, you got it. All right, you all. So let me just do a quick intro. I am Rising Phoenix AuroRa, you all. I am known as a spiritual revolutionist. You are here because you want to listen to raw love and raw truth, and that's That's what I deliver every time. Absolutely. And I am the founder of Rising Phoenix Mystery School Wellness Center, which you see right behind me. I host workshops, retreats, live courses in my school, Rising Phoenix Mystery School, under AuraPractitioners.com. My website is risingphoenixaurora.com. I have to strongly tell you that I am sovereign. Therefore, I am the founder of my business, and I've been the founder for the last 9 years. I support myself fully, but also divinely. And so everything in the ways that you either come sign up to any of our courses or our memberships that are incredible. You will not regret signing up to any of those courses. They're wow. The extra sensitive series or any of our memberships, they help support this video and all that I do to it. And which again, this is how I keep myself sovereign. Nobody supports me but the creator and the powerful exchange that I give Mother Earth every day through my 1,000 videos I delivered you all, where we've kept you on track at the darkest times during the pandemic. Every single moment we've brought you the material that was accurate, that was truth, and it was up to you whether you wanted to align to it and feel it out. Thank you for being here. To my next, I have tea with AuroRa. Zen, if you're listening, bring me a teacup. I like to hold it. We're washing them, so we're getting ready because Tea with AuroRa is this Sunday, 1 p.m. Central Time. Come join me at my wellness center. It is a time that you get to speak to me. It's a 3-hour event. Chat with me, and then also about an hour and a half out of those 3 hours, you do an aura group regression, which is a guided meditation, and like it that, but you go in and you entity removal, heal, cleanse, and with a sound bath that is going to be the most incredible sound bath you will feel in your life. That's this Sunday, June 14, 1 p.m. Central Time. I have a membership for that. Everything that I'm speaking, I have memberships. I am also an author, you all. I am the author to Galactic Soul History of the Universe book series, as well as the Lost Cities of Tartaria. Get ready. If you want to find the truth and shift your entire existence, operate within your consciousness, your brain that's been talking to you, your third eye. This is how you find the truth, you all surrounded and shielded by love. So you can find these books under Amazon and Barnes & Noble. Otherwise, my next retreat here to get Aura, Hypnosis, and Raw Reiki certified, which I often reference in my videos, is in September. Come sign up. All right. And then I'm also certifying people in June. So was it June? I'm trying to remember. No, just July. Can't remember right now. But yes, workshop. Oh yeah, in a couple weeks actually, June 27th. Sign up to our newsletter where it tells you everything that we have going on. Every week I am a school, so we have classes rolling out every week, usually every Sunday. You could join us live. Thank you. All right, let's go. So I'd like to play a Michael Jackson song. Zen, send me, what do you think? Which song, if I could play right now? So text me. And then Gina's, by the way, in chat. So write your questions there if you have any questions. If you could send me, what song would I play? And we could dance it off, right? Okay. While you send me that and we figure that out, let's go. Okay, so some very important communications now from the white slave trade. All right. So let me pull up that video. We're going to also add the link there for you all to follow along if you like with the book. Gina, add that in chat. You might have already done it. Oh no, that's the book. Okay. Let me find the link for myself. Okay. All right, so I'm too going to pull up the book, even though I have it here. It's easier to show it to you on the screen. So we're going to post that for you as well. There we go. Okay, so reviewing the pages, we understand that Tom, is his name Tom Holland? Yes, I believe that's his name. And in case you don't know who he is, I mean, I could show you a quick video of who he is. So he's basically head of running the saving of human trafficking. He's also the man who has written this book from, this is his incarnation, basically. Tom Holland is the incarnation currently. But, sorry, not Holland, Tom Holman. So let me show you a quick video here. Tom Holman again. I've referenced in the last video, but this is speaking of what he's doing. Because he has a lot of, dark entities trying to stop him.
Across the country. This is a Washington Post headline from 9 years ago, 2016. Meet the man the White House has honored for deporting illegal immigrants. And I would remind everyone in this room that it was former President Barack Hussein Obama who awarded a medal to Mr. Holman. So that's speaking about the immigrants, but there's so many videos that I have that I already showed in the past ones, right? But let me see if I can try to find one now. And then he has been speaking about saving the children, and they've been, finding thousands of children. Okay. Oh, there's my teacup. Join me for tea. Yeah, I already grabbed that. Yeah, Pablo. Thank you.
Oh, there's a bird right there.
So let me find you. We're doing this in live time. I mean, I never know exactly how it's gonna go, so thank you for your patience always. I did have a video they were speaking about how many they had found. So let me try to find that. Gina, if you have one right at the top of the doc, where they're speaking about how many thousands that they have, children that they've found. Okay, so add that to the top of the doc, Gina. That'll be more helpful instead of me looking for it. Okay, so give me a good one where he's speaking about the thousands. All right. Again, we've already shared this, but all right, this Sunday. Okay, so to remind you, that's who he is, and then let me see. Keep an eye out once that video is there. So the first page that we're going to go to in this is going to be. We're going to go, so last off, we looked at the book, we're on page 29, okay? So we're going to go to page 31 in case you are following along with me, okay? So as we continue, I want to say again, haters and trolls, don't even bother. Keep your entities to yourself. This channeling is delivered in source love light, and that is all. If you don't like it, just move on. And if you write a negative comment, thumbs down, whatever, know that it'll be yours to transmute, so don't even bother, because we're only going to be speaking about truth and love today, and that is all. All right, keep it. What's the point? As always, I'm here not to fight the AI battles. I'm here to end them. And that is something that we understand completely, especially if you've been watching and reading my books. We end things. And that is what we've been seeing especially over and over in America. And the South American people understand that because, they've been the ones that have been enslaved by dark lords over them. Is that this administration is providing light and saving and endgaming, Iran, endgaming, just like we talked about in Real News. You want to watch that. China, Charlie Kirk. By the way, don't get confused anymore by Charlie Kirk and that rabbit hole. Whatever's going on with there is a part of an AI matrix. I know I already delivered that in the Real News, but I'm telling you, I had an aura session someone who started watching the person who covers the whole Charlie Kirk thing. And what happened is that they were being placed into an AI matrix. They got so confused, and then they started hating on this administration, but this administration is saving children. So I don't know about you, but anyone who saves children is a good guy and a good girl, a good woman, a good man. So that's who I'm going to align with always. But in this A.U.R.A session, that's what happened. And the client was so incredible, who, you know, she freed herself from that. That A.U.R.A session is going to come out maybe in a week and a half, and you'll get to watch that. But make sure that you're fully on focus, and then you'll get the details on how that was happening. So this is the real news, you all, the real data. Here we go. All right, only love. Okay, so we are on page 31. Page 31, which is, okay, that's page 32. All right, so it says here, let me try to separate this actually, so it's its own page. And where did you go? There you are. Okay. Oh, page 31. Okay, so last time we left off was on page 29. So as I read through this, some really important things, I found several deep into them. All right, and then what I want to point out here, okay, is that, oh, but let me see, Gina, did you find the video of Tom Holman? Yeah, okay. All right, so this is what you're reading. Know that this man is this beautiful man who wrote this book, okay? Wrote this book when? In what was the copyright again? I know it was 19 something. Can't remember if this one had it. Yeah, right here. My book has it too. I can't quite read this. And my book, it says, it's so tiny and blurry. Gina, what was that again? The date that this was written? Right at the top of the doc. It's good to have a preference because this is where 1910. Okay, this was written in 1910. So we're over 100 years, because we're in 2026, so we're about 116 years? Wow, that's really important to know, actually. Numbers, right? 116 equals 7, right? 116 years ago would be 8. The number 8 adds up to 8. 116, 7, 8, 8. So we got some Lionsgate infinity protection there. All right. Neighbors mowing lawns. Okay. So I'd love to look at the data because, as you all know, I channel this, right? And I channel all the time without even having the data. So bringing the data brings it into, like, you can't at that point say we're making it up, right? Because we have the data, you know? So this is what's so special. And at that point, it crystallizes us into it is actual truth, right? Even though all we speak has come into fruition often, we're leading the way to that. So, all right, here we are, back to that page. Oh yeah, and then I was going to show you Tom Holman. Let me show you that really quick because I have the video now. Here he is. Thank you. All right. It takes a strong man to do this, you all. Not only write a book in his incarnation, 1910, when it was happening. And so this is why you need to know who it is, because you can feel his love through the book. And as I read it, all the details he was adding to what was happening in that time space, so you can understand why he's so strongly guided in this now time space. A very man that needs to be sent love to every day, if you can, to continue to save the children.
Take the threats off the street. ICE here in this state have located 3,364 missing unaccompanied alien children. Children that the last administration lost and weren't even looking for. That's because of the leadership of President Trump, these children were located. In addition to taking public safety threats off the street, ICE here in this state have located 3,364 missing unaccompanied alien children.
If you don't like ICE, that is a concern, because if you want to watch migrant clones, which I did with my show with Laura Eisenhower Cosmic Mother Rising show. And we spoke about back then when they were coming in millions and thousands being dropped off all over Earth. Where are they coming from? Because they're clones made by your COVID swabs, okay? That's why they wanted your DNA. And these clones are programmed MK Ultra to rape, to kill, to hit people randomly. You've seen the videos. I know that you're here, so you're informed. And if you're not, go to X and type in migrants and what they're doing out there, who are migrant clones. I'm not speaking about the normal, obviously beautiful people of the land that are regular immigrants. I'm talking about the alien ones that are clones, okay? Made in labs by the dark aliens, the cabal, the dark military. Okay, all right, we understand that. Now back to this here. Ultimately, I mean, we all have to agree. We have to agree that saving the children is number one, and whatever way that is in the path and the most organic timeline to save the children, we all have to align to that, you all. And that's what we're seeing, right? Trump created a group of Latinos, Latin, Mexican, Latin American presidents who are now part of a kind of superhero group saving trafficking. We got, this is incredible, you all. And that's a fact. You can look into that. Gina sent me, add to the doc, that one post where they got together with Trump and they're helping save children, okay? All right, so I'll wait for that. I should keep an eye on that. And then, but while we wait for that, let's go ahead and go back to the book. All right, so back to, now you know, right? This is who you're going to be listening to this whole time. Remember that. Him, and from that incarnation to this incarnation. Gina, look into some facts as well. Like, when was he, this man who wrote this book, which was by Ernest Bell, when was it that he ascended out? I feel like there's some kind of dates, important dates we need to know about. What are the dates of when he ascended out? And then also pertaining to Tom as well, and how those numbers maybe align if they do. Not often. They often do, but not always. But they do in an astrological point of view. All right, so he says here, okay. Okay, so Tom Holman, but Ernest Bell says, permit me as a matter of historical interest to call your attention to the simple origin of this new crusade for the suppression of the white slave traffic, which had its birth under circumstances of great interest to all workers in the year of 1898. Okay? All right, this is the year. Listen to him. He's talking us from that time space to this time space. If you watch The Last American and that book that I found of what happened to all the Caucasians of America and how they just died, something happened to them. That's why the English had to come and repopulate them. Okay, The Last American, you want to watch that series. Okay, so 1898. This is the year that we as parents, mothers, grandparents, aunts, uncles, just beings of love light who are here to save the children, who are our future organic timelines, the birthers of that. This is the year that you want to focus on to send love in whatever way you do, without overstepping boundaries, without harming none. Because this is where the human trafficking of this era begins, right around the Tartaria time. And why Tom Holman of that time space needed to make he put a team together back then. And that's what this book is telling you factually about. Well, let's look at the numbers. What does that add up to? It adds up to 9s, you all. What did I just finish delivering to you all about the 369? How the system, the fall of the system, and Nikola Tesla channeled, and I went to the New Yorker, right? He shared all this importance of the 9. So we're looking at 999. Does it add up to a 9? Well, no way, because the 8 is so it's a 9 plus a 9. Let me see. 9 plus a 9 plus an 8. So almost, let me see, 9 plus a 9 plus a 9 plus a 8 equals 26, which equals 8, infinity. Again, we're seeing that. Where did I just speak about that there was an infinity number, the 8, or the year that it was made in 1910. Okay, so we got 8 portals here and 9s, all right? So in my journeys abroad, prior to 1898, I had in some instances found that the missing girl under circumstances of a most painful character. It was the old story, the promise of a good situation or the promise of a suitable marriage were the means invariably used to entrap and ensnare them. I want you to understand that, okay? This is how I began. The promise of this and that. Once in the hands of the traffickers, they were hurried away from country to country until the highest bidders obtained the virtue, honor, and the life of the victims of these inhumane traffickers. In many various journeys, these ghastly facts were over and over again brought to my knowledge. Their truth, I was unfortunately frequently able to verify that from personal observation and knowledge. I knew this state of things to exist, to be ever on the increase. I knew that just as the honest merchant deals with his merchandise in the course of trade, sending certain goods to certain markets, because that's what they were, right? These women, girls that they obtained, they were merchandise, markets of the world. So this hideous trade was under the control of a syndicate of men and women who bought and sold the virtue of woman in the same manner as the merchant sells his wares to the highest bidder. And we could go on and on, you all, about how he speaks about this. But I'm going to point out the most important things. But honestly, every single word in here is important. So I will continue to read here. Here was indeed a revelation. So far as I personally was concerned, for a long time I had known of the existence of this traffic, but I had no idea of its widespread character. I had not dreamt of the scientific and business-like manner in which it was conducted. Here indeed, disgusting, here indeed was the explanation of disappearance of hundreds, yet thousands of girls so often reported as missing from their homes and for whose return mothers waited year after year in vain. This is so sad. The revelation enveloped me as a dark cloud. In vain I tried to disperse it. Surely there was some way of combating the gigantic evil. This gigantic evil. Here indeed was the Philistine giant of evil. The people were indifferent. The laws were impotent. There was no public opinion on the subject. So listen, he is the founder of trafficking, saving children. There was no public opinion on the subject. True, some of my journeys to different countries had resulted in the homecoming of some who had been falsely beguiled into the way of evil, but this was as nothing compared to that which appeared to be impregnable, the forces of righteousness. The darkness of the picture obsessed me. It clung with an octopus-like grip to my soul. which we know through our practitioners and the clients have sometimes archon octopus things attached to them with tentacles. He's literally speaking, he's telling us, the archon AI, right? Octopus, I truly found trouble. I'm gonna calm myself. Zen, can I have Palo Santo, please? I truly found trouble and sorrow intensified. This is dark, you all. It's gonna be hard, dark. It suggests you connect to the sun, if you're not right now, or light a candle. We need to bring some fire into the space because we're doing it. We're concluding it today. Here we go. This is how it works. You've watched my videos. When we do things Mandela out, quantum happens. You are here because you are assisting with your love. You're strong. Thank you for being here. Thank you for listening. Thank you to the current streaming live 89. I love you with all that I am. Often people who say that they want to assist, that they want to help save the children, in what ways are you doing that? It's often they run away. They don't want to see it. They don't want to talk about it. How are you helping them if you choose to be the bystander watching children be raped? You're not. You're part of the problem when you do nothing. So the darkness of the pictures obsessed me. Okay. Yeah. I truly found trouble and sorrow intensified by the consciousness of perfect helplessness to grapple with such a vast area of evil. It was worldwide, and whatever the remedy, it would have to be universal in its application. This experience seemed to bring me to the very porch of hell. Could nothing be done to cope with this state of things? Could Earth, with all its multifarious efforts of prevention and rescue, find no solution to this fearful problem? Would no one be found able to fence the top of this Tartarian rock over the precipice of which the virtue of womanhood was being constantly flung? Was this feature of lust never to be quenched, or must it forever be fed with the priceless gem in the crown of true womanhood? Was there no means of stopping the unholy demand, as that alone would cause the supply to cease? This is where it begins. What's happening in the Middle East, the Muslim Islamic regime, you all, this is powering that. And when they start marrying off little girls and raping them when they're 6 or 8, okay? These were some of the questions which, and this is why after this we're going to go to the real men of Arabia. I don't know what order, but it's coming up after this. Came again and again in my mind as I pondered this mighty question. Okay, he goes on and on with this. All right, so here's a picture. Danger, meeting young girls at railway depots. Know when you're by railways or trains, that's what you're doing. You know how many women and children have been transported through the train system and trafficked or stolen from beginning 1898 or even before, the centuries before that? It's too many that we have forgotten how many, more than it should have ever been, or ever. It should have been 0. Okay? So those of you who are A.U.R.A and A.U.R.A practitioners who practice entity removal, we do not consent. Why am I touching the fire? Because I teach how to touch the fire without burning. It's part of the A.U.R.A teachings. Fire is source. Love light. Why would we not be able to touch it? Now you have to do that at your own discretion. You don't want to get burnt. But we are burning this fire in this moment in time, space to clear it. Thank you for the fire. Come become A.U.R.A certified and I'll teach you. Actually, if you want to come have tea party, I'll teach you how to touch fire without burning. because at that point you're matching vibration to the over 3,000 Fahrenheit fire is, and which is source of light. And you learn how to really run the Phoenix fire and the dragon fire through you. Join me Sunday. Love you all. All right, so, all right, the ashes of the Phoenix. Okay, so, the only thing that could transmute this is fire in this moment. All right, back to the screen. Oh, but you know what? I had asked for something, right, Gina? So let me see what you... Okay, so back to Ernest Bell. So I'm done with that part, but honestly, we could read this and keep reading how passionate and incredible this soul is. He is a soul, definitely another being of Archangel Michael, for sure. You know, there's so many Archangel Michaels. I remember I shared with you guys, I asked once, like, which ones are the angels are the most on earth? And Divine Mother said Archangel Michael's, of course. It's the firemen, policemen, all the men who do right, who are the real men of earth. And then, yeah, that's what he is. So let's read some details about Ernest Albert Bell. So he was born in 1865, 1928. Okay, was an American social reformer activist and the first secretary of the Illinois Vigilance Association, which was founded in 1908 to promote purity, protection, knowledge, and law. That's what Google Books is. So he was also the founder of Superintendent of Chicago's Midnight Missions, a charitable organization, which is how I found this book, and aimed at helping the poor and marginalized. Thomas Douglas Holman, November 18, 1961, age 64, West Carthage. So that's Tom Holman. Is he age 64 right now? Nice. Born 1961, November 28. It doesn't say what month he was born, huh? Ernest Albert Bell. And we know that he's in charge of the act, right? The Mann Act that he began in his time space. Add those details here. We need to know that. The Mann Act, and what year was that? We talked about it prior. So that Mann Act that protects children, he's the one that made it and was the founder of it back then. So 1961, what is that up to? Because we got the 699 in it when Tom Holman was born. So let's set that up. 15, 16, 17. 17 equals 8. Ah! Okay. So, he's born in number 8. The year of the 8. Tom Holman. And now Ernest Bell, though. He was born in 1865, which adds up to 11. Which is up to 2, is it? 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19. Yeah, 20. So he has up to 2 when he was born, Ernest Bell. But I was wondering what month he was born. And then 1928, which is 10. Ooh, the wind is so windy. The dragons love this video today. 10 plus 9 plus 10. Was he born on the 2 and ascended on the 2? 10 plus 10. He's 10. Born in November 2. Y'all, you don't make this up. Again, you can't make this up. He was born in November. Back then in 1865, and he was born now. His birthday and his birth as Ernest Albert Bell, who's guiding him, Goddess Don Ancini Stel, the protector of the children, and gaming the pedos, La Santa Muerte. I channeled her. That's her number, 10. And that's also the Phoenix number 2. The Phoenix is number 10 into rebirth. You take away the 0, turns into a 1. So 10 is the rebirth, the conclusion into something, into rebirth. The endings into rebirth. Okay. Okay, so both his birth year and his ascension year are 10s, which endgame into rebirth. Those numbers carried forth to this, and now he's within the number 8 infinity. He's currently 64, which means that he's in number 10. He's 10 right now, adding up to the importance of number 10. So Tonantzin would be, again, you all, the one who's assisting him this year. Finally, he's been ahead of this, but couldn't quite do what he could then, especially in the time of Obama administration, because he needed to stay alive. He needed to play the game. But now he is, right? Now he is. And he has the number 10 powering him up. So he concludes and rebirths, concludes into rebirths. He end games things, okay? And end games human trafficking. There's more people to that, you know. There's so much false information. I made a video about it. What was that movie called, the one that woke up so many people to trafficking? What was it called? And I went to go see it. It was so incredible. And the underground, what was it called? The railroad underground. I can't remember his name right now. Genotype at the top in the movie that we saw. Anyways, so that man is also in this book, and we'll find him right at the top. Okay, I'm gonna keep reading this, and then we'll keep reading the book. And then as soon as you give me that information, he says, you know, children are not for sale. Our children are not for sale, right? Okay, so here is, the Mann Act. Okay. Was originally passed in 1910, yep, and so was his book, right? Published in 1910. It's a federal law aimed at prohibiting the transportation of women and girls across state lines for immoral purposes, primarily targeting human trafficking and prostitution. The Mann Act, previously called the White Slave Traffic Act of 1910, that's what it was called. They changed it to the Mann Act. Of course it did, the Mann. White Slave Traffic Act 1910 is a United Federal Law passed June 25th, 1910. Tens again. The year is 1910, 1910, and the year, and then 10 is 10. 2, which adds up to 2, his birth and death year. Once more, synchronicities. Yes, the Sound of Freedom, thank you. And what's his name? Okay, so I know people who work for him, is what I can say, and they're positive, y'all. So then, so here's a video of the Latin America team, which should be very much addressed right now because Latin America has been used for the trafficking means, going through the umbilical cord of Mexico into South America, which we talked about. Maduro going down. Yeah, there they are, you all. This is factual. Trump convenes a Shield of Americas summit with 12 Latin American leaders. Oh, you all are beautiful. El Salvador is leading the way there, though. Bukele, he's amazing. He's doing, if you watch Channeling Adolf Hitler, and if you haven't watched it, you all, you have to watch this. It is almost like, I think it's, you ask your higher self. I think it's I could tell you that it's important. And he's doing what Adolf Hitler did in his time space. Remember who wrote the books after World War II? It was the Cabal, so let's not believe any of that. All right, and Bukele is doing exactly that. He's rising and saving the children and creating beautiful organic timelines there. And he's gotten rid of that bad gang there, you all. Look into him, all right? I made a video about Latin. I can't remember which one it was. Okay, but was it maybe the Virgen de Guadalupe channeling, where we talked about all these? Okay, good. All right, there's the facts, you all. Okay, next one is Timbalard. Okay, let me find him. I might have to go wash my hands because I don't want to put ash all over. Hold on, let me wash my hands. I don't want to put ash all over the book. Because, or maybe I could just, actually, that's all right. We'll just use ashes today. Ash of the Phoenix. That's how we roll, you all. Ashes rebirth. All energy. Oh, yeah. Okay, so let's look, because there's other men in here. So let me just look back and let's see if we run into him. But let me show you. Let me look back and see if I find Tim Ballard. Okay. And they made up all sorts of stuff, and his wife is so beautiful. I'll follow him. But look at how his love and his wife is so beautiful. She's divine mother energy, and how much they love each other, and they really are there to protect the children. Okay, so we were on page 34, 35. Be right back. Okay, let me see. Browse through here really quick. There's pictures of men that are assisting him, because it wasn't just him. He put a tactical team together then. Okay. Let me make sure we did not miss it anywhere. Edwin W. Sims, who's that? Let me see a picture of him. Gina, add a picture of Edwin. And okay, so Tom is Ernest A. Bell. Oh, hold on. I'm getting them confused. Okay, I got it. Now that I see the picture. Okay. I mean, they're both Archangel Michaels though. So it gets confusing. All right, so who's this? Who's this exactly? So know that this is Archangel Michael writing it, right? These beautiful divine fathers. Okay, this is, okay, let's clarify. This is the man most feared by the white slave traders. This is Holman. And Tim is writing the book. All right, I'm glad we clarified that. I needed a picture. Okay, it's hard when they're both Michaels, right? Okay, so let's go back to page 34. So why is he feared? Gina, add in the doc, why is he feared most by the white slaves? Not the white slaves, but the traders, the bad ones, the traffickers. Why would I fear him? All right, so meeting young girls at railroad depots. I think he's somewhere in the book, and we'll get to it. We're going to get to it. Is one of the methods of the white slave trader. They promise to take the strangers to their friends. In fact, anything to get them to accompany them. Once in a close carriage, they are lost. Yeah. So talking to your children about that. Nowadays, most children are like, stranger, get away from me. So those time spaces have taught the children of this now time space. So this is a picture, it's sideways, turn your head, but dangerous amusements. The brilliant entrance to hell itself. Young girls who have danced at home and little are attracted by the blazing lights, gaiety, and apparent happiness, and the dance balls, which is in many instances lead to their downfall. So music, dance, they use the things that people love, so beautiful to dance. Okay. All right. So from there, though, let me see the next page I wrote we must speak about. Okay. And we'll come back to Ernest A. Bell. I know we spoke about him last time, but it's been such a long time, so we need a recap on that. And the next page is 35. Okay, right here. This official conference was organized. So he's talking about what he organized, right? Whoa, that's epic that it's the Sound of Freedom man who did this then. Wow, Tom wrote the book. Oh my God. Okay. This official conference was organized chiefly through the National Vigilance Association, and the European powers and others were officially invited by the government of France to take part in July 1902 in response. Okay, you hear that? The government of France, European powers, in July 1902 in response to an invitation from the French government. The French were positive then. 16 countries were represented by 36 delegates who met the Foreign Office in Paris. There's 16, adds up to 7. I needed to be here. They said at 7 when I joined. Then the number 7, and then 36 is again the 36-9. 36 equals 9 delegates who met in the Foreign Office in Paris to consider what measures would be adopted to effectually break up these syndicates of evil. After 5 days deliberation, the outcome of their labors was the drafting of an international agreement, which in our opinion, if adopted by all civilized countries, would so fully protect young women that the moral risks attended upon their traveling in any part of the world, either for business or recreation purposes, would be greatly reduced, if not altogether done away with, the soil being ready prepared. The decisions arrived at by the official conference found ready acceptance by the National Committee of Europe. The subsequent working of this agreement has fully demonstrated its value and effectiveness in the suppression of the white slave traffic. Okay, I wanted you to delete that. I'm rhyming. I wanted you to read that. So Article 2 of the International Agreement is as follows. So this goes into details of like what they agreed on. You can read that on your own. Or I can read this. Each of the governments undertakes to have a watch kept. Oh no, this is I did need to read this part. Is something I had noted. Okay, this is what you need to you need to know this because this is what they agreed to, okay? From that time space, so we can Mandela in and orbit that time space. You watch Orbiting into Higher Timelines. I began to teach you about time, how time works and is not in existence and it's a spiral, really, right? I also had an interview that you could watch, and you can find that, and I'll post that coming up. But where I spoke about time, really good there too. And then again, watch Orbiting into Higher Timelines. Yeah. And I can't remember which other one right now, but okay. So here is, okay, so Gina's working on Edwin. Okay. So each of the governments, this is what they undertakes to have a watch kept, especially at railway stations, ports of embarkation. For those of you who do entity removal, you know that there's always tons of children's souls at road and rail train tracks of children's that were violated there. Okay, this is why. And an en route for persons in charge of women and girls destined for an immoral life. With this object, okay, they're going to watch them, they said. With this object, instructions shall be given to the officials and all other qualified persons to obtain within legal limits all information likely to lead to the detection of criminal traffic. The arrival of persons who clearly appear to be the principal's accomplices or victims of such traffic shall be notified when it occurs, either to the authorities of the place of destination or to the diplomatic of consular agents interested or to any other competent authorities. We had, by our investigations, discovered that the chief places of dangers were the ports of embarkation or debarkation and the railway stations of the various countries. Here, in which brings you to Zen. You were showing me a video. Send me that video. Did you send it to me? Was it Denver? Where they're talking about, or Boston? Was it Denver or Boston? And then you were talking about, did you send it to me to text? If you haven't, send it to me now. Gina, make sure he gets that message. Where there are these airports, why are they so gigantic and what's going down under? Why is there levels? And we know that I'm trying not to call them by this name. Ernest A. Bell. I'm getting them confused now. It doesn't matter. So, Ernest A. Bell. And then Ernest A. Bell and Edwin. That's right, Ernest and Edwin. Why their names are similar with an E? Okay, Ernest A. Bell. Okay. I'm gonna try not to mix them up when I reference them. Gina, right at the top, which one's which? I'm going back and forth between their fractals. Right at the top. Ernest and which one's which? Okay. In their now time space. All right. So, okay, so let's see. Be spoken in her own language. Okay. So we had by our, so these 16 organizations, 16 parts of people from different countries. We had, by our investigations, discovered that the chief places, again, railroads and now airports, here was that the strange young woman would be spoken to in their own language by apparently a sympathetic lady who would offer her every assistance, even to providing her with a lodging, which the new arrival in a strange country would be only too ready to accept, right? Especially you're new, you're scared, it's like, what? You offer that? So we knew this, and we had become familiar with the fact that the railway stations at home and abroad were in the hunting grounds of men and women engaged in the white slave traffic. It was on, I love how he explains it's not just men, it's men and women, okay? I like how he explains that. It was on these facts and this evidence that Article 2 was agreed upon by the delegates of the official conference. These women are some of those women that, like, you hear about teachers, a lot of female teachers nowadays, they might have gone jab, but that, are violating children and boys? Disgusting. Those are those women. You're seeing them do it again. They can't help themselves. Disgusting. We are all familiar with the fact that all the laws, however good, are comparatively useless unless they are breathed into by the national life of the country where they exist. You hear that? Okay? Their use is in proportion to the energizing power of the people interested in their administration. This article, too, was formulated in response to the desire of the people, and when it was granted, was welcomed by them with warmth and enthusiasm, which augured well for its future successful administration. We are glad to be able to, this is important, y'all, this begins the protection and can Mandela into this now time space, okay? So because it was created then and is still in act right now, called the Mann Act, but really the real name, white slave trade. We are glad to be able to assert the high hopes to which it gave birth amongst the people of Europe have been more than realized. Immediately on the ratification of the agreement, the National Vigilance Association, okay, this is what he was in charge of. The National Vigilance Association deputation pointed out the British government that the duties involved in carrying out the article were hardly such as could be. Again, this could help British United Kingdom, where hardly such as could be entrusted to policemen, not even to men who, if they were placed at ports of railway stations of the United Kingdom, would not be likely to win the confidence of foreign young women in England. This apart altogether from the fact that the persons stationed of the ports railway stations would require to know several languages, as well as, this is an incredible plan, isn't it? So they have to know several languages, as well as to be possessed of much common sense and discretion. You must have common sense. I love you. To undertake this work, this association offered to engage a large number of lady workers possessing a knowledge of European languages if the government would authorize them to do so. This was agreed to, and the National Vigilance Association, love you, commenced a work which it carried on for the last 5 years, during which time their workers have met in the railway stations in London, whoa, and at several of the most important English ports. 16,000, again, there's the number 16, 16,000 young women, 80% of whom have been of foreign nationality, and quite 40% of whom would have been in moral peril had it not been for the assistance, wow, this is so beautiful, rendered by the workers of their arrival in England. They already saved 60,000 just in those 5 years, you all. Oh, I love you so much, infinitely. If you're not a clone, I mean, you gotta know, we gotta save the children, right? But not everyone, obviously, is a clone. But you guys know what I'm talking about, the NPCs. And then some people, they're just dense. But ultimately, any person with a soul knows that human trafficking and child trafficking is not right. Otherwise, you probably want to question if that person is a real person, a real soul, you all. I'm telling you. All right. because a good person will always look out for others like this. All right. Okay, so this goes on and on, but we're going to go ahead and go to the next part, okay? That I need to cover, but let me see what else we were asking, though. This is why Edwin W. Sims was feared, okay? Who is now Tim was a prominent Chicago attorney and U.S. District Attorney known for his tough stance against the white slave trade. The 19th century term for the trafficking of young women into prostitution. Okay. High-profile prosecution. Sims was known for aggressive, public-facing campaigns against the trade, which made him a target for those accused of being involved. Yes, sending him a wave of love from this time space. Did you guys see that? Did you see the flash right now on the screen when I said wave of love? Sims was appointed U.S. Attorney of Chicago in 1906 and became 1906. Again, we see 6 and 9s there. 10 plus 6 equals 7. And became a leading voice to the fight against the trade in 1910. He contributed in a chapter to fighting in the traffic in young girls. What chapter? Which chapter, Gina? I want to read that chapter he contributed in. Of War, the White Slave Trade, in which he claimed to have personally investigated over 200 cases where young white women began their descent into prostitution after visiting ice cream parlors. I think I know that, but find it for me, because that's something that I have noted that we're supposed to be covering today. Or other establishments run by immigrants. He warned that these places could be spider webs for young women, though he did not shut them down daily. Okay. All right, so he was talking about that in association with moral crusaders. He was linked to reformers and vigilance committees, giving him moral authority in the fight against immoral foreign-owned businesses. His fearsome reputation was amplified during the early 1900s. At the time, many Americans believed that foreign-born immigrants, especially Italians and other Mediterranean peoples, were running large-scale trafficking rings. No, they were. That kidnapped or lured young women for prostitution. Ice cream parlors, often owned by immigrants, were seen as prime entry points of victims. It kind of creeps you out when you go to ice cream parlors now, you guys. I don't know about you. I'm going to skip that. Where I don't eat sugar anyways. Okay. Let me drink water. Okay. Often owned by immigrants, were seen as prime entry points for victims. Sims' public warnings and his own investigations made him a symbol of fight against these foreign predators. Predators, they are. Fear of exposure for suspected traffickers. Sims represented the threat of public exposure, legal action, and social ruin. Out it. Out it you are. Don Unseen has said it, and you shall be. Symbol of the era's Mora panic. His name became synonymous. How do you say that word? Synonymous with the fight against white slavery, making him a feared figure in the eyes of those accused of perpetrating it. And if you were accused by him, you were a bad guy, is what he's saying from that time space, because of course we're channeling in this now time space both Ernest Bell and Edwin W. Sims, okay? He is bad A.U.R.A. Like, if you could visualize the most gorgeous man on earth who is in his power and is protecting as a shield humanity, his family. Did he have a family then? The children. That is the epiphany of a man you would be looking at right there, you are. Edwin. Okay. I see you guys have some questions. Why did they tell us Christopher Columbus discovered America? There's a reason for that, but we're going to cover that in the continual, the World's Exposition, World's Fairs, Tartaria series, okay? And we'll figure that out later. They said America's stolen land. Illegals used that to justify their invasion. What do we tell them? Well, technically, the Europeans did steal the land, and they raped and killed everyone. So that's true. And technically, the indigenous people who are here, who coming in from Mexico, they're the reincarnations typically of the indigenous people who were killed and raped when the invaders came in. So they are accurate. But what do you tell them? You just tell them that that was not you, and that you have love and compassion for them, but that was not you. And that is all. That's all. You don't need to go into a fight with them. You just state facts too. That's it. Okay? All right. Okay. So just to clarify, Tom Holman is Edwin W. Sims, and Tim Ballard is writing the book as Ernest A. Bell. Got it. Okay. So, and then Edwin is the one that was most feared, but so was for sure Ernest A. Bell when he was leading this organization. Okay. All right. So let me see if there's anything else we need a question on. His section is called the special chapters. You can find it in the table of content. Yeah, just write the page there and we'll figure that out. Okay, let's keep going. Once I get to it, let's keep reviewing this book. See if we can get this video done in 2 hours. I really wanted to conclude it, but if we have to, we'll go on to the next one. All right, so we are now, there's so many details every time we bring out one, there's more, and there's more, right? So now we need to go to page 39 and 40, last second paragraphs. Okay, right here. Okay, right here. We need to review this, 39. Keep in mind this book is 500 pages, but again, we got the most important, well, there are important pages, but perhaps the most remarkable development in connection with Article 2 was the spontaneous and marvelous manner in which the Roman Catholic Church aroused itself. Back then, they're not meaning it like an arousal. That means that they're assisting or answering the call, I guess. Okay, so because apparently they're positive then. So was the spontaneous and marvelous manner in which the Roman Catholic Church aroused itself and provided a number of ladies as station workers throughout Europe to look after and care for the moral welfare of Catholic girls. Okay, so they were assisting too. The Barons de Montenac, residing at Freiburg, Switzerland, who had attended the first Congress of the Suppression of White Slave Traffic held in London in 1899, saw the opportunity which Article 2 offered and at once appealed to the women of the Catholic Church, who responded with so much enthusiasm that they have one of the finest and most carefully planned international Catholic associations for railway station work. You see that, you all? Love to the Catholic Church. In that time space, they were positive. We know now in this time space, they are used as pedos and they do the satanic rituals. But I needed to bring this to your attention so you could find the organic, back then, organic purpose that they had then, okay? Because we need to, the collective is working on transmuting this, and I don't know how that's going to play out. Just know that, remember what I'm saying right now. We're working on it, okay? We know it from personal observation and can speak in the most unqualified manner of the devotion of the Catholic ladies throughout Europe who give their time and money for the protection primarily of Catholic girls, though they are always ready to assist girls of other creeds. Thus, by means of Article 2 of the International Agreement, we now have, Article 2, to remember his birth and ascension. Oh God. Agreement. We now have Europe covered with a network of agencies which protect young girls from moral trouble in most efficient and striking manner. Beautiful. And it goes on and on and on. Let me see what else I needed to read here. Church. I wanted you to just see that, okay? Next page. We got this. Even though I want to read it all. Next page from there. Oh, I forgot to write. Oh, I didn't write the page for that one. Hold on, let me find. I wrote. What's the paper with? Was it here? Okay, the next page is 50. So somewhere between 39 and 50, I was supposed to share something. What was it? Let me skim through. I forgot to write the page. I was up to 4 in the morning, guys, preparing. Okay. I know you guys don't know the devotion and work I have to do to be here, because you all, not only do I do sessions during the week to to basically be my own founder and funder. The truth is that I know I don't tell you guys this because I don't need credit for anything, but I do have sessions a week to support all of this. Then Sunday classes and Q&As, which I absolutely adored, and all these events and that support what I do, you all. And then I prepare, and I'm up if I'm lucky for these videos, sometimes up to, I think the latest I stayed up once was 5 in the morning to prepare for this video on Friday Lives. So just letting you guys know some of the work that I'm doing, which I've never shared with you. All right. Just sharing how much love I put into this. Okay. All right. This is not easy, you all. This is hard, deep work, dedicated work. Okay, so I don't know what I was supposed to write there, because I probably was like one eye open as I was reading. I was like, what time is it? Okay, let me skim through it and maybe I can find it. Okay, what's the next one? But I gotta get to page 50. And what I wrote was, it had to do with what to close this paper with. I sometimes speak in code for myself that I can't even translate. So I was talking, all this is important, all of it, but let's see. Let me close this paper with, genius, page 45. 45, que es el total de 9, total 9. So, esto no es talking through me. Yo estoy hablando aquí, vámonos. Tenemos que salvar todos los niños de América, de todos los lugares, toda la tierra, las tierras de todos los mundos. Tenemos que hacerlos. Órale. Ándale. Abre tu corazón y síguelos. Deje que tu corazón sea tu guía. Yo estoy aquí en mucho infinito amor para ti. Te amo con todo lo que soy yo. All right, I'll stop talking in Spanish, but that was Don Anstein, if you guys understood that. All right, so let's see. So then, let me close this paper with a strong appeal, a loud call to the men and women of America with these passions and sympathies with their English brethren across the Atlantic. We have much in common. Our hearts as well as our language are the same. We are influential and actuated by the same religious impulses. Let us there, as one people, join hands across the sea in the holy enterprise, and sweep from the world this awful blight upon young women. Remember, it is not a crime peculiar or common to men of nationality. Gina, is there a picture of Edwin in this book? If it is, write the page when I get to it. And if not, add a link to, I want to see a picture of him. Remember, it is not a crime peculiar of common to men of one nationality. All nations more or less have taken a part. See, everything that I said, he's saying it. 1910, be A.U.R.A at this Congress to inaugurate a worldwide crusade in the name of God and of our common humanity against this crime. Remember, the forces of righteousness and purity are stronger than the forces of impurity. We may receive checks when engaged in the conflict, but about the ultimate victory, there is no shadow of doubt. Let us in strong faith look up until the hills, from whence cometh our help, and the battle, however prolonged, is won. Let the old and the new world link themselves together. Let me say that 3 times. Let the old and the new world link themselves together. Let the old and the new world link themselves together. Divine Mother. Under one banner and one leadership, spread the light of truth on this question and scatter the men who delight. And when they're talking about the old world and the new world, remember, Yeshua just walked the earth. He unveiled, watch that series, he unveiled our America, which was the new world. Okay, but in Atlantis, all the worlds were connected, but something happened, right? By an Atlantis series, watch that. All right, so this is what, every time you see that reference, New World is America. Really was unveiled. So, and so then spread the light of truth on this question and scatter the men who delight in evil and the darkness of which their deeds are surrounded. I appeal, especially to the women of America, to rise in the dignity of womanhood and demand the suppression of the white slave traffic in America, in the whole world, and thus give the young woman those rights and that protection which should be their common heritage. Let me close by quoting Lowe's words, which on many occasions have proved a trumpet call to some forgotten duty. Who is Lowe's? Gina, add their link and figure out who that is. Here's what they quoted. Once to every man and nation comes the moment to decide in the strife of truth with falsehood, for the good or evil side, some great cause, God's new Messiah, offering each the bloom or blight, parts the goats upon the left hand and the sheep upon the right, and the choice goes on forever, twist that darkness and that light. All right, we're going to move on to page, I feel now, page 50. Okay, page 50. What their parents think. Okay, so this is what the parents think, all right? Another significant fact brought out by the examination of these girls is that practically everyone who admitted having parents living begged that her real name be withheld from the public because of the sorrow and shame it would bring to her parents. One said, my mother thinks I'm studying, this is too sad, y'all. My mother thinks I'm studying in a stenographic school. Another stated, my parents in the country think I have a good position in a department store, as I did have time for a time. And I sent them a little money from time to time. I don't care what happens so long as they don't know the truth about me. Again, these are the girls who are in prostitutions. In a word, the one concern of nearly all those examined who have I feel for those young ladies. It's so horrible. Give me a minute. It's horrible. Oh, that is horrible. Okay. In a word, the one concern of nearly all those examined who have homes in this country was that their parents, and in particular their mothers, might discover through the prosecution of the white slavers that they were leading lives of shame instead of working at the honorable callings which they had left their homes and come to the city to pursue. There are, to put it mildly, hundreds, yes, thousands of trusting mothers in the smaller cities, the towns, villages, and farming communities of the United States who believe that their daughters are getting on fine in the city and too busy to come home for a visit or to write much, while the fact is that these daughters have been swept into the gulf of white slavery. Where's Mabel? A frequenter at a resort is asking. Resort, remember, they're not resorts, they're where they sell the young lady prostitutes. Is asking the keeper about one of the popular girl inmates. The brutal answer was she was croaked. The upper part of the picture shows the burial of the girl in a potter's field. Truly, the wages of sin is death. Because he talks about how they die from what they have to go through being sex slaves and disease and sickness. Okay, we got this. We're probably gonna have to run it more, and let me feel it out and see where we're at, and if not, we'll have to make another part. Okay, so the reason why I felt we were gonna end this is because we are ending this inversion today. Divine Mother says she does not consent to her children being trafficked like this. Okay, so keep in mind those people who are bystanders, who are allowing the rape and the violation and pedos, are also the ones that did this then, that align with the pedos. Keep that in mind, you all. Don't forget that. All right, so where was I? There were some questions that we need answered, and then we'll move on to the next page. Okay, let's see what else. Looks like he wrote the introduction, chapters 3, starting on page 47. Okay. Oh, okay. So he's writing this. Oh, okay. So Edwin is writing this. Wow. Okay, so that's confusing. Why I kept feeling both of them were writing that. Makes sense now. So he wrote chapters 3, starting on page 47, and chapters 4, starting on page 61. His picture is at the beginning of the book. Yes. Oh, okay, that's right. But where's a picture of Ernest Abel? I need a picture of him. Okay. The mention of Lowell's words on page 46, James Russell Lowell, 1849. The Present Crisis by James Russell Lowell is a poem written in support of the anti-slavery movement that occurred in 19th century of America. The present crisis. Oh, Divine Mother just said it. They weren't just talking about black slavery. They were talking about the white slave trafficking. You all, they've masked the black slaves this whole time, saying that it was blacks, the slaves. Just then, it was the white slave act too. Okay. The truth has come out. And that is all. Okay. Thank you. Let's proceed. Okay, so from page 50, I wrote that we want to share now. Oh, goodness, I've had enough of that. Oh, goodness, that's horrible. All right, well, now we're moving on to page 55. Another man. Look at him. He's beautiful, helping out. On Han Clifford G. Rowe. Let's just give homage to all of them. Write me a quick summary. Who is he? Gina, thank you. I guess I'll read this even though hard. The worst doom that can befall a woman, the mother who has allowed her girl to go to the big city and work, should find out what kind of life that girl is living and find out from some other source than the girl herself, no matter how good and fine. So again, this is, right, Edwin speaking, aka Tim. Okay. It is incredible how much, because I follow him on Facebook, how much it's mirroring all his posts and everything he talks about here, what he's writing here. No matter how good the fine girl she has been at home and how complete the confidence she has always inspired, find out how she is living, what kind of associations she is keeping. Take nothing for granted. You owe it to yourself and to her. It is not disloyalty to go beyond her own words for evidence that the wolves of the city have not dragged her from the safe paths. It is instead the highest form of loyalty to her. You do this for her, you all. This is why you're watching this video, and this is why you're going to share this series as far and wide as you can. You do it for her and all of them, you all. All right, I'm just going to go to page 55. Here's a story of one of them straight from her, okay? Page 55. All right, we'll start off here in this bottom paragraph. Of course, in due time, the money came, and the $100 was a most substantial pledge to the parents of the wealth and generosity of the American lady. Unhesitantly, she was prepared for the voyage which was to take her to the land of happiness and good fortune. According to the arrangements made by letter, the girl was met at New York by two friends of her benefactress who attended to her entrance papers and took her in charge. These friends, who were two of the most brutal of all the white slave traders who are in the traffic. At this time, she was about 16 years old. Little baby. Innocent and rarely attractive for a girl of her class, having the large handsome eyes, the black hair, and the rich olive skin of a typical Italian. Where these two men took her, she did not know, but the most violent and brutal means they quickly accomplished her ruin. For a week, she was subjected to unspeakable treatment and made to feel that her degradation was complete and final. And here, let it be said that the breaking of the spirit, the crushing of all hope for any future save that of shame, is always a part of the initiation of a white slave. Then the girl was shipped on to Chicago, where she was disposed of to the keeper. Goodness, that scared me. To the keeper of an Italian dive, the Villis type of her entrance. Here she was furnished with gaudy dresses and wearing apparel for which the keeper of the place charged her $600. As in this case, with all new white slaves, she was not allowed to have any clothing which she could wear upon the street. Her one object is in life was to escape from the den in which she was held as a prisoner. To pay out seemed the surest way, and at length, from her wages of shame, she was able to cancel the $600 account. So after basically she slept with men, she was able to pay off the $600 account. which they would have been paying her nothing in comparison to what they were making off of her. Then she asked for her street clothing and her release, and only to be told that she incurred other expenses to the amount of $400. Disgusting. Those are those con artists. Her Italian blood took fire at this, and she made a dash for liberty. But she was not quick enough, and the hand of the oppressor was upon her. In the wild scene that followed her, she was slashed with a razor, one gash straight through her right eye, one across her cheek, and another slitting her ear. Then she was given medical attention, and the wounds gradually healed, but her face was horribly mutilated. Her right eye is always upon, think about that. Islamic girls, they scar them, don't they? There you go, you all. We're finding those dark curses there that are powering up what they're doing to them now. Her right eye is always open, and to look upon her is to shudder. When the raids began, she was secreted and arrangements made to ship her to a dive in the mining regions of the West. Fortunately, however, a few hours before she was to start upon her journey to the United States Marshals, raided the place and captured herself as well as her keepers. To add to the horror of her situation, she was soon to become a mother. The awful thought in her mind, however, was to escape from assassination in the hands of the murderous gang which oppress her. You all, Al Capone and those gangs were not becoming rich by alcohol. Some by trafficking. Italian, Spain, France. All right. One recital of this kind is enough, although instances by score might be cited, which differ only in detail and degree. All right. I can read this really quick and then we'll move on to the next one. It is only necessary to say that the legal evidence thus far collected establishes with complete moral certainty these awful facts: that the white slave traffic is a system operated by a syndicate which has its ramifications from the Atlantic seaboard to the Pacific Ocean. What? What are you saying? Like Hawaii? With clearinghouses or distributing centers in nearly all of the larger cities, that in these ghastly traffic, the buying price of a young girl is from $15 and up, and selling the price, and that the selling price is $200 to $600 if the girl is especially attractive. The white slave dealer may be able to sell her for as much as $800 or $1,000. That this syndicate did not make less than $200,000 last year in almost unthinkable commerce. They make $200,000, you all, off these girls. Think about how much they're having them have sex with nasty pedo man. That is a definite organization sending its hunters regularly to score France, Germany, Hungary, Italy, and Canada for victims. That the man at the head of this unthinkable able enterprise is known among his hunters as the Big Chief. Who the heck is this man? Wait a minute. Gina, who's the Big Chief? Did anybody ever figure that out? Is any mention in this book of the Big Chief? Look at the titles. Just let me know. What? Also, the evidence shows that the hearlings of this traffic are stationed at certain ports of entry in Canada, where large numbers of immigrants are landed to do what is known in their parlance as cutting out work. In other words, these watchers for human prey scan the immigrants as they come down the gangplank of a vessel which has arrived and spot the girls who are accompanied by fathers, mothers, brothers, or relatives to protect them. The girl who has been spotted as a desirable and unprotected victim is properly approached by a man who speaks her language and is immediately offered employment at good wages with all expenses and the destination to be paid by the man, most frequently laundry work, is debate held out, sometimes housework or employment in a candy shop or factory. The object of the negotiations is to cut out the girl from any of her associates and to get her to go with him. So basically to remove her from her family, because then she's unprotected. Then the only thing is accomplished, her ruined by shortest route, if they cannot be cajoled or enticed by the promises of any easy time, plenty of money, fine clothes, and yeah, we understand that. Horrible. Next thing here. So that was 50, so that's 55 to 57. I think Tim is still writing this part, right? Let me see what else I've been asking, Gina, that you have written, and we'll continue to the next page. So let's see what else we have here. Okay. So Clifford Griffith Rowe, 1875 to 1934, was a Chicago prosecutor known for the effort to fight prostitution and the trafficking of women for sex work, known as WILE. You see that, you all? Who was creating all of this, you all? Who was? Chicago. Chicago, the heart of the dragon. Mother, Divine Mother, was creating her protection for her children in Chicago, Lake Michigan. So much beauty in the city, so much beauty. Which I have to tell you that I went to New York, and I know that there's like an insane amount of migrant clones that have gone there. But I could tell you, just walking from one end to the street, there are pedos in every direction and degrees you look at. I walked Chicago streets. It's not like this, guys. Here, it is not. Of course, don't put yourself in dangerous situations. If you could walk downtown, perfectly fine. If you walk New York, you better be on your fire and looking at these guys like pedos. Don't even bother. Don't try it. I will kick your ass. I'll fight your ass. That's the way you got to look at them. Because they're all lusting after you, no matter how old you are or no matter how you look. We were talking about this in our recent live Q&A. Some of the New Yorker people that live there. It is unreal how much danger there is for women in New York. So thank you to Chicago, that Mandela time space, for this time space, and the work that you did in your time space. Thank you infinitely. We love you. Okay, so back to this. I'm on fire today. So hot. Okay. So what page was I on next? A lot of fire came out of that one. Don't I look like I'm going to Spain? Ándale, España. Vamos a España. All right, let's go. So, okay. So that was story of one of them. Now we're going to go to page 66. Okay. And before I move on to page 66, we're about to go to 6-7. 6-6 and 6-7 was, you guys listened to what I talked about. And the importance of 6-7 in the New Yorker, the fall of the system. Zen, you sent me the video. Oh, you did. What's up? Okay. We were just in New York, right? Check this out. We have to pay homage to 6-7, and we talked about how 7 is everyone's lucky number, and it's assisting 6 who's been targeted because we're supposed to ascend into the 6th dimension. They use it as the false Lucifer number, which is non-existent. The Archon AI is the devil. All right. Look at this, you all. The people of New York answered the call. What's up? On 6-7, which just happened, a couple days ago, there was a meetup in New York City at 6-7. 6-7 meetup in New York City, right in front of this Tartarian. This is a gateway. This used to transport people back and forth when we were in the 5D into different parts of the world, right? Check this out.
3, 2, 1.
Come on, y'all. Join them. Let's go. Raise it. Raise that vibration. What's up, New York? One more time, guys. Raise it up. Let's go. 6-7. 7 is healing and saving 6. Let's go. Birthing in that ascension. Come on. 6-7. Let's go. Raise it. What's up? Thank you, New Yorkers. Those are the real New Yorkers, not the clone ones. Or the dark aliens that we talked about, or they're like the movie Men in Black. All right, or not there. Okay, so it's 36 now. 36 right now. 306. What do we want to do, Yeshua? There's still so much to cover. I thought we could conclude this. Now I understand that they meant that we were going to bring conclusions to the darkness of this. So what we're going to do, what are we going to do? All right, what page are we on? We're on 66. I'm only not even halfway through the markings that I wanted to mark. So we're going to conclude it with 6-7. Here we go, you all. And then answer all your questions and make sure that all the questions I asked Gina that we cover. All right, and then will be another part. There just has to be. There's going to be a part 4, and that should be concluding, we think. Okay, so it won't be as long as last time, though. But remember, these are delivered in divine timing. So let's look at only when the time is right, because otherwise I couldn't be showing you that 6-7 video, right? Okay. And before we conclude it, I want to promote my necklace. You might have seen it. These are genuine black freshwater pearls. And she is available for you to purchase on my website. And beautiful earring set. These earrings, right here. Have one made. I'm going to buy it. These earrings are cute little sterling silver. Sterling silver because sterling silver is the metal that reacts to the moon. Gold is the sun. Okay. And you can find them on our website. We'll add the link. But there they are. So beautiful. The mother of pearl, I'm going to channel it later. But you know what the, not mother of pearl, this is pearl. But we know the white pearl, what it signifies. So understand that the white pearl and the black pearl are the yin and the yang. So the black pearl completes the white pearl and is your warrior, your organic darkness, your strength, your fire, the way you stand up against these pedos or whatever. Okay? So it empowers what you may have laid dormant within you, your sovereignty, and balances out the white of the pearl, yin and yang. How beautiful. And then you can find that under my website. We'll add the link here. And everything's still 20% or 13% off, depending on what the course is. But if you click here again, this is my infomercial. But keep watching, because we're going to conclude it epically like we always do it. Here, you go to jewelry, and you're going to find it here. Genuine pearls. And there she is. There she is. So beautiful. I love that necklace. And this is going to be available upcoming. We'll talk more about that later. Because same with the mother of pearl. This is Abalone. And I have that one available too. Okay. Thank you. Thank you for my infomercials. Love you, honor you, respect you. Here we go. Next. Let's do this. Finish it off. Vámonos. Let's go. 6, 7. All right, so my notes read that I had to finish in 6, 6 because there is a father concern of his child. Okay. Before me, I write is a letter from a father, which is a tragedy in a page. Oh my goodness. He begins the note by saying that the warning has aroused him to inquire about his little girl. Oh my goodness, no. I can see I can see it. I can remote view it and see it. I'll tell you what I'm seeing. Well, what I'm seeing before I even read it is that parents all over America, when these countries got together and they began this act of white slave trade, parents who thought that their daughters were, at the city or wherever doing something, their gut, their what do they say? Like their stomach dropped. They're just, oh my God, because they're like, wait a minute, what if this is my child? She says, right, she's working here and there. What if this is my child? This is how bad it was, you all. Okay, so this is what we're reading from this father. Okay, to inquire about his little girl. There is a pathetic pride in this admission that she was considered an uncommonly pretty girl. When she left her home to take a position in Chicago, her letters, he states, have been more and more infrequent, but that she does occasionally write home and sometimes encloses a small amount of money. Oh no. From the tone of the father's note, it is evident that while he is a trifle anxious, he asked that his daughter be looked up rather to confirm his feelings and confidence that she is all right than otherwise. A glance at the address where she was to be found left no possible question as to the fate which had overtaken this daughter of country home. So far as a knowledge of the girl's mode of life is concerned, no investigation was necessary, the location name being in the center of Chicago's red light district. While the case, what location was that, Gina? Where? What's the streets of where they were getting them? Red light district, Chicago. Tell me. Write that in the doc. While the case was a sad one, there appeared to be no violation of the federal laws, the girl having come from a neighboring state. A federal prosecution against those detaining her was therefore impossible. No way, they couldn't get her out? Why again? While the case was sad, appeared no violation of the federal law, the girl having come from a neighboring state. What? A federal prosecution against those detaining her was therefore impossible. However, the case was placed in hands of Mr. Bow. Ernest A. Bow. Oh, I love you. Of the Illinois Vigilance Association. So the man who wrote the book. Through his efforts, she was rescued and shortly, thank you. Tim, right? Wait, I got him confused again. Oh, goodness. Ernest E. A. Bell is too much writing here. Let's write it at the top, Gina. Can you keep it at the top? Keep it at the top, because otherwise I keep losing it and everything you're adding. Oh, here it is. So Ernest A. Bell, which is writing this book, who is Tim. Oh, I got it right. Yes, of course I got it right. But yes, I'm gonna put it to the top. All right. So Tim. All right, one got her. You're great. That is wow. Thank you. Okay. All right, so Mr. Bell of the Illinois Vigilance Association, through his efforts, she was rescued and shortly therefore after returned to her mother and brothers and sisters who had supposed that she was holding a respectable but poorly paid position. Wow. Wow. They, however, welcomed a very different person from the pretty girl who went out from that home to make her way into the big city. She was pitifully wasted by the life which she had led, and her constitution is so broken down that she cannot reasonably expect any years of life, even under the tenderest care. What is still worse, the fact cannot be denied that her moral fiber is shattered, and the work of reclamation must be more than physical. The white slaves who have been taken in the course of the present prosecution have generally been very grateful for the liberation and glad to return to their homes. It has been necessary for their own protection as well as for other reasons to commit some of these unfortunates to various prisons pending the trial of the cases in which they are to appear as witnesses, and practically every one of them gives unmistakable evidence that imprisonment is a welcome liberation by comparison with the life of white slavery. Now, as to the practical means which parents should use to prevent this unspeakable fate from overtaking their daughters, they cannot do it by assuming that their daughter is all right and that she will take care of herself. Wow. In the big city, in a large measure, it seems impossible to arouse parents, especially those in the country, to a realization that there is in every big city a class of men and women who live by trapping girls into a life of degradation, and who are as unhumanly cunning in their awful craft as they are in other instincts, that these beasts of the human jungle are as unbelievable desperate as they are as unbelievably cruel, and that their warfare upon virtue is as present, as calculating, and as unceasing as was the warfare of the wolf upon the unprotected lamb of the pioneer folk in the early days of the western frontier. I cannot escape the conclusion that the country girl is in greater danger from the white slavers than the city girl. The perusal of the testimony of many white slave enforces this conclusion. That is, sorry, one second. That is, lost my page. Hold on. So, where was I? Hold on. That is because they are less sophisticated, more trusting, and more open to the allurements of those who are waiting to prey upon them. It is a fact which parents of girls in the country should remember, that the white slavers are busy on the trains coming into the city and make it a point to cut out an attractive girl whenever they can. This cutting out process, I use the technical term, consists of making the girl's acquaintance, gaining her confidence, and on one pretext or another inducing her to leave the train before the main depot is reached. This is done because the various protective and law and order organizations have watchers at the main railroad stations who are trained to the work of spotting and quickly detect a girl in the hands of one of these human beasts of prey. Generally, these watchers are women and wear the badges of their organizations. But suppose that the girl from the country does not chance, and we're in 6-9 now. Wow. So suppose, what does today add up to? 6, 12. 6, 1, 2, 7, 8, 9. No way. 6. And we're in the month of the 6, 9, you all, because everything's going to add up with a 6. So 6, 7, 8, 9. 9 plus 10 equals 19, which equals 10. Completion. Did I add that up right? Let me know. 6, 8, 9. Yes, 9 plus 10. 9 plus 10 equals 19, which equals 10. All the numbers we've been talking about. Again, you can't make this up, you all. But suppose that the girl from the country does not chance to fall in love with the white slaver on the train, that she reaches the city in safety, but becomes located in a position, or perhaps in the stenographic school or business college where she has come to attend, and secures a room in a boarding house. No human being, it seems to me, is quite so lonely as the young girl from the country when she first comes to the city and starts the struggle of life there without acquaintances. All her instincts are so social, and she is for the time being almost desolately alone in the wilderness of strange human beings. She must have someone to talk to. She must have someone to talk to. It is the law of youth as well as the law of her sex to crave constant companionship, and the consequences she is constantly in a condition to prepare her for the slaughter. The beast was, oh my God. I know who the beast is in this time space, you all. Divine Mother just told me. The list. The Weinstein brothers, the ones that Candace interviewed, so dark, those guys. And then the main guy, the Epstein. He's the beast that was effing running it then. Sorry. This is how it ends. That's the guy. We will see, is what I can say. Let me read what Gina found out about the beast, but we know who he is in this time space. Crazy. Where was I? But suppose the girl from the country, I forgot where we were at. That was huge. She must have someone to talk to. She is sentimentally in a condition to prepare her for the slaughter, to make her an easy prey to the wiles of the white slave wolf, and the girl reared in the city does not have this peculiar and insidious handicap to contend with. She has been from the time she could first toddle along the sidewalk, educated in wholesome suspicion, taught that she must not talk with strangers or take candy from them, that she must withdraw herself from all advances, and in large measure regard all save her own people with distrust. As she grows older, she comes to know that certain parts of the city are more dangerous and more wicked than others, that their comings and goings must always be in safe and familiar company, that their acquaintanceships and her friendships must be scrutinized by her natural protectors, and that altogether there is a definite but undefined danger in the very atmosphere of the city for the girl or the young woman, which demands a constant and protective alertness. The training, so basically the city girl would know more so, right, than the country girl. The training is almost wholly absent in the case of a country girl. She is not educated in the suspicion until the protective instinct acts almost unconsciously. Her intercourse with her world is almost comparatively free and unrestrained. She is so unlearned in the moral and social geography of the city that she is quite as likely if left to her own devices, to select her boarding house in undesirable, in a safe and desirable part of the city. And in a word, when she comes into the city, her innocence, her trusting faith in humanity in general, her ignorance in the underworld, and her loneliness and perhaps homesickness conspire to make her a ready and easy victim of the white slaver. Those of us who are born in cities, this is why we're born in cities. This is why I was born in this city. It made me into a baddie. It did. It did. Baddie. Angels are being funny. They say you're a baddie, which means you're good looking. But they're making me laugh. But yes, women are baddies. So looking at the migrant men in New York when they were looking, is they knew in my eyes that they couldn't touch, because I knew who they were. Now, where a woman who comes, a young girl who comes from the country and is not aware of the city life, is going to be a easy prey, like he said here. Beautiful points, incredible to what he has written. Thank you. Thank you. Let's see if there's anything else here, and we're going to conclude on 7. We're concluding on 7. We are. And that is all, you all, because I started this energy. This video was 7. All right, but that's it for the books. I mean, the reading, what I'm writing. You know what happens often too is that I just conclude the video like intuitively. Often when I talk about the numbers, you all, I don't know what it's going to end up at. It adds up to what I was just talking about in the video. Keep an eye on that. So when you look at Rumble, the timestamp of how long the video is will add up to the numbers we spoke about. Divine, what is divine is like this, you all. What is organic blueprint works like this. Okay. All right. So let me see what you guys are asking. Comments, questions, write them now. Write them now. We're concluding now. Okay. What an incredible video, you all. Thank you for being here. I love you infinitely. All right. You are strong. And how many are currently viewing live right now? How many of you baddies? What's up? You guys are baddies. What's up? 256 streaming live right now. Incredible. But the AI system tries to mess with my numbers, but 256, that's 11, 12, 13. What's up? 4. Okay, so let's see what else I asked questions for. Okay. Okay, so the term big chief is not a specific person in the book, but used to evoke the image. No, there is definitely a big chief. But however, they that was not shared. It's okay. But used to evoke the image of criminal boss of kingpin. Someone who controls the flow of victims and the operations of the trade. He was definitely the operator then. Okay, but this characterization draws on the sensationalist style of the 20th century. But wherever you look this up, they're obviously not going to know. But when we read it, you all, he was talking about like an actual person. All right, Chicago's red light district in the early 1900s. Infamous red light district was the Levee district located in the South Loop between Harrison and Polk. Streets later expanded in between 18th and 22nd Street. 18th Street is where that Mexican museum is at, and where a lot of that's the Mexican kind of area, as well as 26th Street and 22nd. Oh, it's all Mexican. And it's a little village, all of that. Whoa. Zen, can you confirm you know better about streets? Isn't that Little Village? Which is called Little Village because it's a Mexican village area. Oh, that is crazy. What video was that? The Chicago Fires videos, the World's Fair Exposition. I talked about that area and the museum we found there. That's where the Chicago fires began. Hold on. Hold on. Those are the streets where the Chicago fire video destroyed. They used that time space to then human traffic and white slaves, and now Mexicans are living there, the original indigenous to the lands. Okay. Zen, you can text me. Oh yeah, we're talking about Denver. Let me show you this really quick. Right, we're talking about the airports and he sent it to me. Here, right here, look at this. This is what Ernest A. Bell in this book is talking about. Look, Denver Airport, you all. Plays along with conspiracy theories, supposedly. Look, are we creating a world? They got reptilians, aliens, Colorado. Okay, that's one. And then there's underground. It's there. It's a fact that they have underground levels. Okay, you can look into that further. All right, so let me see what we are answering here. Okay, so any other questions, you all? Oh, picture of Ernest A. Bell. Then, in case you missed it, right? So 18th Street and 22nd Street, 26th Street is Little Village. That's where they were had, correct, right? That's Little Village. Okay. All right, so Ernest A. Bell picture. Let's see a picture of Ernest A. Bell picture. So, author. Aww.
A.U.R.A, sorry, I didn't hear you. I stepped away.
Oh, it's okay. It's all right. So Ernest A. Bell, let me share that with you. Little Village is at 16, so 18, let me see.
Little Village what?
So where they were trafficking them at is located 18th Street and 22nd Street.
18th Street and 22nd Street?
Isn't that Little Village area?
By where though? You have this, the cross streets.
Oh, there's cross streets.
Yeah.
So 18th and 22nd Street. So let's see, between Harrison and Polk. So basically it looped. It's okay. Don't worry about it. I know this. Don't worry about it. All right. So
Yeah, there is, because Little Village starts like right there by like 26th and like Sacramento.
yeah.
And it runs all the way to like.
Yeah, so it started off like in downtown, like in Wabash, and it expanded into Little Village, where the Chicago fires were at. Basically, it's the same area. All right. Okay, so next one. Thank you. All right. Oh, yes, the picture. And then we're concluding this as soon as we're done with your questions and comments, y'all. Here's his picture. There he is. So this is the man, Ernest A. Bell, who wrote the book. Okay, that's him. How beautiful. Look at his gentle eyes. Again, in this now time space. You see him? He is here, saving the children. Wow. Ernest A. Bell. Wow. Love you. And he wrote the book. Okay. All right. So then that's that. And let me see what else you guys have. Okay. He has a collection of Chicago History Museum you can visit later. What? Oh, that's cool. Okay. So then what else? Do 66 and 67 also mean moving from 12D to 13D? Well, yes, because they add that up, right? So yeah, all the numbers collide to one another like a child's thinky toy, like a spiral, which is a spiral collapsing, right? Like in my recent interview. Just keep an eye on that. I'll post that on Rumble soon. Okay. All right, let's write comments. Fire is source. Love that so much. Thank you for your work, your hard work. Really appreciate it. Veluvia, Veluvia. Linking the new world and old world on page 45, adding up to 9. Oh, wow, that's true. Chicago Red Light District in early 1900s would be in the South Loop. The Levee, 18th Street, yes, is the tail of the whale. Yes, in that video we talked about. Yes, Denver Airport is so dark. They also have a blue horse with a red eye statue. Yeah. Yep. Thank you all. Thank you. Thank you. All questions and comments have been noted and answered. I love you with all that I am. Thank you. I will see you all next time. We'll see what video. I don't know if Yeshua's, we have Yeshua, right? Going on right now. Did you send me, let's finish it off with Michael Jackson song. Did you ever send me a song?
I didn't.
Can you send me one really quick? So we have Yeshua Just Walked the Earth series. We also have this one, the White Slave series. And then we have the Real Man of Arabia and the I Survive Antarctica series. Okay, got lots of World's Fair series too. So keep an eye on what's going. But if you notice, they're all conjoined to one another and they support one another. Even we're coming in many different perspectives of different Earth times history. So watch all my videos, you all. Dedicate your time to do that. They are incredible and they shift your being, your light into higher consciousness states of energy. Come have tea party with me this Sunday, 1 p.m. Central Time. But otherwise, you can find all the information, everything that I talked about under my website, risingphoenixaurora.com and aurapractitioners.com to find the practitioner near you or anywhere, any of our information again, or aurapractitioners.com. The memberships that I reference, live extra sensitive membership, there is there, and then there's tea party with me. Come sign up. Yeah. Otherwise, I'll see you in my workshops that I host here live, and every Sunday I host a live workshop. Come join me. I also the founder of A.U.R.A. Hypnosis, Raw Reiki, Entity Removal, Quantum Galactic Akashic Readings, and I also do one-on-one sessions. So come sign up to any of the sessions with me online. And sign up to my newsletter. Thank you for being you. Go spread love. Share this video as far and wide as you can, you all. All my videos are important, as you know, but this one is next level importance. Okay? Do it. I love you. And then, Zen, did you send me a link to Michael Jackson's song? Let me see. I don't see one yet.
Oh, the second one better.
Did you text it to me?
Yeah, I did.
Oh, it hasn't come through yet.
The second
I'll just
one.
play it on my phone. Here. All right, guys, let's dance it off to Michael Jackson, because whether he's alive or not, which you'll find out once I decide to what I'm doing there. He is, well, an incredible soul, and you'll find out who his higher self is with all that. Second one? Okay. Come on, you know the song.
Wanna make a change for once in my life. It's gonna feel real good. Gonna make a difference. Gonna make it right.
You hear that?
As I turned up the collar on my favorite winter coat, this wind is blowing my mind. the kids in the street, but not enough to eat. Who am I to be blind, pretending not to see their need? I saw us disregard a broken bottle top and a one-man soul. They follow each other on the wind, no, 'cause they got nowhere to go. That's why I want you to know I'm searching for the man in the mirror.
I'm starting with the man in the mirror.
Asking him to change his ways, and no message could have been any clearer. If you wanna make the world a better place, take a look at yourself and make a change. Na 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 na. I've been a victim of a selfish kind of love. It's time that I realize there's someone more. Not a liquid love. Could it be really pretending that they're not alone? They will deep in scared somebody's broken heart and a washed out dream. They follow the pattern of the wind, you see, 'cause they got no place to be. But I'm starting with me. I'm starting with the man in the mirror. I'm asking him to change his ways. No message could have been any clearer. If you wanna make the world a better place, take a look at yourself and make a change. What's up? I'm starting with the man in the mirror. I'm asking if he'll change his ways. No message could have been any clearer. If you wanna make the world a better place, take a look at yourself and make a change. I can't sing right now, and my throat is like from all the crying. All right, thank you. That's how it begins, with the man in the mirror. How can you make the change? Starts with you. I love you, honor you, respect you. See y'all next time. Thank you for being you.
Waking up in this paradise, thought I was paralyzed. It's just as I realized, a continuous fall. I jumped on a fast train to jump off a fast train to land on my glass race. It all breaks the same.
In whatever way you found me, you are here because you're meant to come here to the Chicago Rising Phoenix Mystical Wellness Center. Come meet me. Come. You'll love it. You'll love it. Join us every 4 months when I host the retreats. Let me know if you have any questions, write in the comments.
Yachts in the ocean, like God is the potion. It's all just emotion. Do you see what